everyone, and welcome back to another episode on my Let's Play series. You join me over here at the mushroom biome once again, and that is because I have been hard at work over here. In between episodes, I have gathered a bunch more resources, and I have done some work on my modern house build, which we started last time, and I am very happy to say that we are now able to do time lapses again. So I have actually finished building up the structure of the house, and I have been able to time lapse that, which is very exciting, and I'm going to show that to you now. So let's get it going. And there we are. We have our house, at least the structure of it, totally built up. And you could see the sort of block palette that I was using in the time lapse there. And now you can see it a little bit closer in person. And I've started working on the front here. I'm going to be using moss and grass, and this path is going to be sort of jagged and really interesting. You come inside, there's going to be a full interior in here. Over here is going to be like a little entranceway, and then we're going to do sort of a dining room and then a kitchen over here. This is going to be like a sunken living room. It's going to be really nice with a fireplace. I have done some of this interior in a creative test world already, but some of it I'm just going to be kind of doing as we go with interesting lighting fixtures and other things like that. I've got some ideas for things. That's why the blocks are in kind of strange places as well, and how I knew where some of the lighting was going to be as we were going, like here and here. This is actually going to be under sort of a dining room table. This is going to be under a bit of carpet in the living room, things like that. But there's going to be some planned and some make it up as I go along with the interiors here. This is going to be like a little outside patio, maybe with an umbrella and some seating. Got plans for some sort of a barbecue out here. Things like that. I want to make this really interesting. And then over here, this is our garage, and I have an idea for something fun to put in here. And then if we go up the stairs over here, this is actually what this whole build was sort of about, and it is this rather plain attic. But this is actually what I'm going to be using as sort of a de facto in-between storage room while I'm building over on this island. I am going to be using this as sort of a place to store all my items in shulker boxes and chests and things, and a little place to keep all of my stuff together while I'm building over here on the island, so it's not just one big shulker box monster somewhere while I'm building. And eventually I'll have a proper storage room over here somewhere, but this is going to be sort of where I put down a bed and put down my shulker boxes. In the meantime, I am super happy with how this has turned out. The texturing in the walls with the calcite and the powder, and also how this roof has turned out with this sort of copper along the edge, and the new deep slate tile, and the polished deep slate as an accent. So just around all the edges, I've used the polished deep slate, and I'm super happy with how defined everything looks. We're gonna put a little bit of a chimney smoking there. And yeah, this copper is actually not waxed or anything at the moment, so I really like it in the totally copper colored like this variant. But I'm going to let it oxidize to the green and see how it looks. I didn't test that out in the creative test world that I first built this in, to see what it would look like. So because I kind of wanted to let it happen naturally, see what the texture looked like as it changed. So that'll be super interesting to watch that change over time. And then if we come inside, this is all just ready for us to put our creative license on it. So I want to do some really interesting stuff. Interiors in the past have not really been the area that I focus on, but I'm super excited to make a custom interior for this build here, and sort of do a little bit of landscaping and everything on the outside as well. I'm going to do some fun things with bushes and maybe a few custom trees, and then eventually this path will connect up to the rest of the island. And where the rest of the island is concerned, originally I had a plan to do one large building in this area and then sort of base everything around that, but I've sort of changed my plans for that. My original plans, I've changed my mind. I'm changing up what the plan is going to be, and instead of doing that one large building with sort of a bunch of smaller buildings around it, what I am actually going to do over here is I'm going to build up sort of like a city of buildings, and this will tie into all of that. I'm going to make roads and skyscrapers and big parks and things like that, just because I love the way that the palettes with the blocks work over here in the mushroom biome. So I'm going to be transforming more and more of this and just expanding, and this is going to turn out to be my base. And I'm not going to have any ugly things around here, big farms that are out in the middle of nowhere and things like that, like I do over in my other area with the sort of farming bit. These I've planned close enough together that I'm going to be able to put a nice building around them, so even that will be enclosed. There will be nothing over here that is standoutish or ugly, and this build is just the first part of this massive area, and I'm just going to keep working on this throughout time as the updates come and new blocks come and things like that. So I'm super happy with how this build has turned out, but now the next thing to do is put a little bit of an interior in here. And I think the first thing that I am going to do is just work on this room right here, these three. So living room, kitchen, dining room, and maybe touch the patio out there and do a little bit of things. But yeah, this is where I'm going to start with this, and we will see how it goes. And we're back, and we have a beautiful interior and pathway to walk up here. These bushes with the moss on top to make them tall. We've got a little bit of a garden entrance here. The roof is changing. Carpet, entrance lights, a little side table. This is our sort of dining room table, and I've done some hidden item frames here. Done that in a couple places here. I've made these sort of bar stools with armor stands, which is quite interesting. You can sit here up at the sort of island of the kitchen, and there's lighting installed in here. Ooh, the barrels make things a little bit difficult sometimes. We've got a bit of an oven and stove, a sink, just texturing some of this a bit. And yeah, and we've also got this custom chandelier up here, making this kitchen really interesting. I'm loving how this is coming along. We've got this sunken living room with couches, side tables, bit of a a coffee table set up here, fireplace, and this really interesting light that I've made up here. And done a little bit of decoration to hide some of this tuff down here, so that ties this room into everything else, and I'm really liking how this has turned out. And then if we come out in the back, I've done a bit of a barbecue here, which is kind of fun. That must be getting powered by our oven here, so let's keep that down, because a lot of smoke comes out of that. If you don't, if this trapdoor is down, you just get like little puffs of smoke every once in a while, and it's pretty cool. I tried to hide these item frames, but the items in them seem to disappear because of the pressure plate, so I might change that. Little outdoor sink, seating area out here, and the umbrella as well, which I quite like with this dark prismarine. I had to gather so many blocks and craft so many things out of the things that I have in my shulker boxes to make all of this work. I really like the oxidization of this copper here. I think that really is really nice for the patio. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the roof. I am going to let it fully oxidize before I make the decision, but I just don't think it has the same pop as it had when it was the regular copper color. So I think eventually I will end up taking an axe to this and clearing off all of that oxidization and putting it back to the regular copper. Yeah, that's just what I think looked better, but I am going to let it fully oxidize before I make that decision. So, and I've got a little planter box up there as well. I am so happy with how this has turned out, and there's a little bit more that I want to do around here before we are totally complete. I want to do some landscaping. I want to sort of tie that over there to this over here so that eventually it can go into the rest of our area. And I want to finish up the interior where it comes to over here and the outside's over here. So I am going to do that now, but yeah, I just wanted to check in at this point and just show you guys where it's at, and just say how much I love how this build is coming along. Like I said, interiors are not really my thing, but this one I am pretty happy with where it is going. So yeah, let's finish up the interior over here and do a little bit of landscaping on the outside, and then I will be back. And we're back again. I keep finding myself up on this little mountain in this episode, just showing you guys all of the different progress that has been made. As you can see, the roof has changed even more. I have put this pathway around here, as well as all this landscaping and this tree, which I have custom made, which I am very happy with. And I've put a little car in the garage, which it's okay. If you guys have any suggestions for better designs than this is just something that I put together. Throw them in the comments. But I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing has changed up here because, again, this is going to be our storage room. So it's not going to be too fancy, but some things have changed around the outsides here. I've thrown some landscaping. It's still a little plain over here, but all of that's going to change as we go along, and I am now pretty happy with the way that this place is looking, especially from this front view. Just look at the way that the paths and everything, it all looks so natural. And the roof is still changing. Again, I think I am going to shave it all off with the axe and end up waxing it, but I am going to let it get totally green before that happens, just to give it the full chance of being something, although I don't think it's going to be the color of roof for me, at least for this build. I think that there are definitely builds that are going to look great with this oxidized copper, but maybe not this one. There is one more thing I want to do. I want to put a couple campfires and some decoration up on the chimney there, but I didn't have any campfires here, so I'm going to have to like knock out some gold or some coal and some wood and make a couple campfires and throw them up there. So I'll get that done, and then we'll be moving on. So it is the very last touch of this build, but here is our 2 campfires, and I'm just going to throw some trapdoors up around this to make a sort of defined chimney. And then this build, as far as the main decoration goes is now complete, and we've got the smoke coming out of the top of the chimney, and it kind of just adds another definition to the build. So now what I want to do is sort of pack up my stuff here a little bit. All of my boxes that go in my ender chest will go back in my ender chest, and then all of these sort of boxes full of stuff that isn't ender chest is blocks that I brought over for this build. I'm going to put up in the storage room there so that they are available for other projects over here. So that's those four. These two are my decor boxes that go back in the ender chest, and I think that still missing some. There's my wood. I'm missing a couple things out of here. I know one of these is my bed. The statues book? No, maybe. Does that go in the ender chest? I can't remember. I feel like that actually goes in the tools box. Might have some boxes around here somewhere that are missing. It doesn't really look like it. That might be everything with the bed. Anyway, that is that. And then these, I am going to just huck all this stuff from my... Oh, there it is. There's my lighting box. That's what was missing. I'm going to throw all of this junk from my inventory into these. And yes, this is going to be rather disorganized at the beginning here until we have a proper storage room over here, but these boxes will go up into the attic, and eventually I'm going to be moving all of my items over to this island, and that is going to be a absolutely monumental task when I get around to doing it. And one of the things that I want to do before that happens is actually make a shulker farm, which is possible in this new update. And make a shulker farm so that I can put everything in shulker boxes so that I can carry an entire inventory's worth of shulker boxes, and I can also fill my ender chest. So each trip over here I can carry like, what, 54 shulker boxes if I have my tools, and even more if I don't. So, and I think the plan for the storage room is actually, I'm going to put like a big park like a lot of cities have right in the middle, and I have this cool idea for having a fountain in the middle, which is where these beacons will come out of, but they'll be low down in the ground. And you'll fly like over and to the fountain, and there'll be a hole in the middle of the fountain that you can fly down into, and that's where the big storage room will be. My plan when I started this world was to use the storage room over there, but as 1.16, 1.17 have come out, there's just so many more blocks, and that storage room isn't doing it, and I kind of want to build up a multi-item sorter, so that is where I am going to take that. But that is pretty much all the time we have for this episode. I'm so happy with how this build has turned out, and let me know what you guys think of the build down in the comments, especially when it relates to the copper. I am going to let this fully oxidize, but let me know what you like better, whether it's the green, whether it is the original orange. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. But I will see you in the next one. Bye.